Several reports out on press freedom across the world, including the United States of America, and unfortunately, the U.S. is not ranking well. First of all, Committee to Protect Journalists had put out its attacks on the press report and said that press freedom has, quote, dramatically deteriorated in 2013 in the United States. So that did not bode well. But the new report out is for Reporters Without Borders, and it's their Press Freedom Index. And what it says is the U.S. has had one of the most significant declines in press freedom that it had tracked during 2013. That does not sound good. So back in 2013, we had actually ranked 32nd. So where do we rank now? 46th. Oops. So where does that put us? Well, hey, we're just a little beneath Romania, but hey, Haiti, you better watch yourself. We're one ranking above you. So proud. Now, I know how Republicans love to say, U.S., we're number one. Well, in press freedom, I don't know if we got enough fingers here. We're number 46. That's not very good, okay? So now, of course, part of the reason is how we treated Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden, and of course the Justice Department's surveillance of reporters, tracking all the Associated Press reporters' phone calls. So it's not just Snowden and Manning. They've been doing this on a wide scale. It's also the breaking of records on how many times they're going to charge whistleblowers with the Espionage Act, and it's also their continuing investigation of New York Times reporter James Risen. So there's a lot of reasons why we've been plummeting in those rankings, and we'll unfortunately very much deserved our poor rankings. But hey, U.S., don't feel so bad. You're not alone. The U.K. is also plummeting in press freedom, and that's because of what they described as disgraceful threats against The Guardian, detention of Glenn Greenwald's partner David Miranda, and other reasons why press freedom in the U.K. has gone down. But they are still above us. They're at 33. We're at 46. So they're even above Romania. Wow. You're really hanging in there, Great Britain. And then finally, the report concludes, both the U.S. and U.K. authorities seem obsessed with hunting down whistleblowers instead of adopting legislation to rein in abusive surveillance practices that negate privacy, a democratic value cherished in both countries. Now, of course, they used to be cherished in both countries, but now we have unfortunately ripped up the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. We do illegal searches and seizures all the time, in fact, on almost every American. We've also decided, First Amendment, if you report on a story we don't like, then the freedom of the press is a little overrated. And then, of course, the good folks in England had come up with a Magna Carta in the first place. What did the Magna Carta say? That the executive, in that case the king, could not simply declare someone an outlaw and have them arrested or killed. And now what does President Obama do? He decides on his own, the executive, that he can do a drone strike on anyone he likes in the world and have them executed, as long as he declares them an outlaw. Gee, I wonder what's going wrong in the US and UK. Press freedom is certainly high on that list, but it's a long list. Okay. And by the way, the reason that you go against press freedom and you make sure that journalists don't report things is if you got things to hide. And we're doing all these things wrong, our governments are, so then we have to turn around and do one more thing wrong, which is limit the press so they don't report on the things that we're doing wrong. Perhaps the better way to go would be to address the things we're doing wrong. But of course, they don't want to do that because the leaders of both countries are perfectly happy to run roughshod over our rights.